Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Monday morning to you, and welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson in charge of things this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Jarrett Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit jarrett-construction.com. Phone calls to the show with service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, Spring Street, Charleston. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor on Virginia Street. Tony's summer hours, Mondays 11 to 3, Tuesday through Friday 10 to 5:30, Saturdays by appointment. Check out bestmastertaylor.com or Tony's Facebook page if you'd like more information. Well, it is a Monday edition of the show. Looks like the storms that we've had over the last couple of days, at least in our part of the world, may finally be going away, although it's going to get hotter later on in the week. Former Charleston Mayor Danny Jones is going to join us a little bit later on in the show. I always like to pick Danny's brain on Monday to see what's going on in that head of his. Stephen Allen Adams from Ogden Newspapers will also stop by. He and I are going to talk a little politics as well. Always, though, time for your calls or texts. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Want to welcome into the show. First time he's been on in a while, at least in the studio. It's South Charleston Mayor Frank Mullens Jr. How you doing, sir?
Doing fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got roundabouts now
yes,
in
we do.
South Charleston. South Charleston. I'm picturing that there's still somebody who's still going around in a circle. They've been there since like last Thursday trying to get out of it. How's it gone overall? We have all seen the post about it, the videos and so on and so forth. But how's it gone
I've
so
seen
far?
some videos, too, that were kind of funny. But for the most part, I think it's going really well. You know, and I just came through there, by the way, and everything was fine. Nobody was lost or going in circles. Everything was good. I got here pretty quickly. So and I think overall it's going well. Actually, you know, obviously there's a learning curve for some folks, and it's a little bit intimidating for others. But for the most part, I think it's going well. And, man, what a great relief it is not to have those stoplights there anymore. I mean, I'm somebody that goes through there 4 or 5 times a day, and it's just a big relief to me. I'm sure to a lot of people.
That's another 3 hours you can add to your schedule now, right?
No kidding. A lot of truth in that. Yes, sir.
How's the project gone overall? I mean, the whole widening project.
I think it's going pretty well. You know, it's a state project, but we had obviously had some input in the very beginning, particularly for what they call a flyover. I call an overpass over the railroad tracks. But I think overall it's done pretty well. And I know there's some folks, there's what I call unavoidable inconveniences when you're doing something like this, as this kind of a major project. But I think overall, I got to give kudos to highways and to coasting. I think, you know, for being in one of the highest traffic counts in the state of West Virginia, they've done a pretty good job.
I think people, and it's interesting you mentioned that, Mayor, because I think people fail to realize how much traffic actually goes through that entire area.
Yeah. It's big. I mean, like I say, it's one of the highest, and out on Route 60, it's the highest count in West Virginia. So, the bunch there, I think Secretary Riston said it well when he was still there at the beginning of this project. He said, heck, it was tough to get through there before we started, you know, so it was a challenge for them. But I think, again, overall, I'd like to give them some kudos because I think they've done a pretty good job considering.
Yeah, and let's go back to the roundabouts for a moment because, I mean, you had put it out there that, you know, these roundabouts were going to happen, and we got, you know, calls to the show, texts to the show. People either love them or hate them. Like you said, there's no in between. And a lot of times there's a learning curve. These are quite common in various areas. Even, I mean, first time that I really encountered them a lot was in Florida. Yeah. But they're everywhere, and even in West Virginia, there's several.
Yeah, they are. There's some up north. Fairmont, Morgantown have some up in that area, and so this is the first one, obviously, here. But down south, they have a few. I just came back from Hilton Head on vacation with my wife a couple of weeks ago, and they have them down there all over the place. So they'll be more commonplace because I think what they do is that they allow for a continuous flow of traffic, which is really what we needed in that area. Continuous flow of traffic and a lot of starting and stopping. And I know people say, well, look, traffic still backs up when it does, but remember, we're not done yet either. There's some lanes that still need to be open. I think it's improved the traffic flow. But right now, you still do have some backups when you have high traffic times a day. But at the end of the day, there are still some lanes that need to be open. And once those lanes are open, I think you'll see a significant difference, at least I hope so, in the traffic flow. And I think you've seen a difference already, to be honest with you.
We got a text here. Someone said, ask when the final completion date is and when everything will be open.
That's a good question. I've been told by the end of the summer, those dates are always hard to keep. Especially with Park Place and with Jefferson Road, these dates keep flying up and keep saying we'll be done by here or this is going to happen by there. And it's always a moving target. So take everything with a grain of salt. But I've been told everything should be completed by the end of this summer.
And sometimes, Mayor, as you well know, there's so many things that are out of your control.
They are.
From the weather to supply chain issues and so on and so forth. Sometimes things are just completely out of your control.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We're going through that with Park Place now, trying to get, Kroger's is scheduled to start. And by the way, if people don't know, the groundbreaking is the 30th of this month, and start construction is supposed to be the 28th. They probably would have started a month ago if Mother Nature would have cooperated. We got to get the pad certified at the end of the day. Everything's done. We're just waiting for the Mother Nature to say, hey, can we drive a truck over without sinking? And once that happens, you'll see construction start. So that's going to be a really, really, really big deal for us and for the valley as a whole, I think.
Oh, sure. Well, and again, what a difference a year makes, because as one of our meteorologist friends we had on the show on Metro News Midday said, this time last year we couldn't buy rain. At certain ports, and now we got way too much. Yeah,
I was just having that discussion as we're standing down there ankle deep in mud. It's like, last year it was a drought around here. Now we're dealing with this, but that's the way it works. Life's about balance, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the Park Place.
Yeah.
What any news since the last time you were on the show about that?
Yeah, since the last time I've been on the show, I don't know how much. Some of it's already been out there. Again, like I say, the Kroger Marketplace will be the first one in the state of West Virginia.
And what's the difference, man? Let me interrupt here. What's the difference between a Kroger Marketplace and a regular Kroger
Marketplace
store?
Is kind of like, I call it like a Kroger on steroids. They sell more than just groceries. You know what I mean? It's almost like a mini Walmart, although they're still a very high percentage tilted, obviously, towards a grocery. Look, it's a grocery store, right? But they do sell other products. If you've been to any of that, I've been to one down south, and again, one section of it will look like a small Walmart, for example. I don't know how else to describe it. We'll have a variety of different retail items to purchase, but that's what it is. To give everybody kind of a good visual, the Kroger at Riverwalk now in South Charleston is approximately 50,000 square foot store. This one's going to be a 120,000 square foot store. Uh-huh. So that kind of gives you an idea of the difference in size and the difference in inventory you're going to be able to go there and have. So we're excited about it.
Talking again with South Charleston Mayor Frank Mullens Jr. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is presented in part by Generations Physical Therapy, the leading provider of outpatient PT in the tri-state for nearly 30 years. For an appointment, 304-760-5660 or visit generationspt.com to find the closest location near you. Of course, everybody talking about that Kroger, but there's going to be some other things that are coming there as well.
Yeah, they are. We got several restaurants getting ready to start this fall as well. The big one I think that people are going to really enjoy is Mission Barbecue, which is a franchise that's put together by a group of veterans, and I think there's a lot of them in Ohio. There's none in West Virginia yet. We'll have the first one there. It'll be right across from the main entrance of Park Place where Chick-fil-A's at, across from there. People know where that's at. So that'll start. That'll be the next one start after Kroger, I believe, and then there'll be a little bit of a domino effect after that. So you'll see several things start no later than this fall. Again, the Kroger will be next, and as soon as Mother Nature lets them get started, they're going to get started. We're groundbreaking again, as I mentioned, on the 30th of this month. So we're excited about that. We're excited about one of the big things. I said one of the most anticipated ribbon cuttings we've had in a long time was the farmers market.
Oh yeah,
that we did. Man, it was really something else.
Now let me tell you, I've had a couple of opportunities, my wife and I, to come over to that farmers market. That's a real deal. I mean, it is really, really a nice farmers market.
Yeah, it really is. And we got. I was a little concerned about vendors when we first started to do it, but man, we've had more vendors than we can handle wanting to come down. So it's been really good. The very first day we opened up, Grits had to restock 4 times. And it was so kind of gives you an idea of what kind of crowd we had down there. But it's
I like
fun.
The fact that you have different things coming in too. It's not just the same thing every week. And I know that there's usually food trucks there, and things of that nature. So it gives people a little variety.
Yeah.
And look, I live in Tays Valley, and we make the trip there. I know people from Charleston that come there. I know people from Elkview that come there. So people aren't shy about getting on the road and coming to South Charleston right now because this farmers market is really, really nice.
Very convenient.
Yeah.
Very convenient to get to. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about the downtown area of South Charleston. I had an opportunity to be there a couple of weeks ago, and we spend so much time talking about Riverwalk and talking about what's going on in Jefferson. We forget you've got a thriving downtown area.
Yeah, we do. It's good. We have a variety of restaurants for sure. It's the only place you probably can't. It was hard for a while till Happy Days opened down there to find a hot dog or a hamburger. It was mostly a lot of different cuisine from around the world, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then we have a new business going in down there now by the Mound. It's Andrew's Boots is moving down there. That's the construction you see now on 7th Avenue. They're coming in. And so we're excited to get them open and get them going. But, the downtown's going well. Mixture of small business and professionals and restaurants, and you have a nice little downtown. Attorneys, insurance, real estate people, throw in a few eateries, and you have a nice downtown. That was always our goal, and I think we're getting there.
We had a text here that said, loving the roundabout except for the Papa John's delivery driver who came towards me head on. It's not that complicated, people. It's a learning process, Mayor. It's a learning process.
It is. I've seen some of those videos, but again, it's a learning curve for some folks. And look, 6 months to a year from now, everybody going through there will be routine. We'll be good to go.
Except for that one guy who's still in it.
Still in it. Yeah, I saw one truck in that little center lane in the middle just going in circles. I think he was just doing it on purpose, just screwing around. But anyway, it is what it is. Yeah.
So what's going on with South Charleston Community Center? Anything going on there?
Well, we've got a hole in the roof right now we're dealing with, right. So we're dealing with that.
Not by design.
Not by design. It's there. But look, the roof's a challenge for us. It was a 25-year roof. We opened the doors in 1982. Do the math, right? Yeah. So it's look, we have plans for a new one. And we're trying to get that going. We got a conceptual design already made. We've got a site selected. I can't really announce that site yet, but we do have a site selection for it. And hopefully,
so a site selection for the
new community, new community center.
So it's going to move from where it is now.
We need to move it. Look, the roof replacement is about a $5 or $6 million project. The mechanics of it is really getting a little bit of a struggle because it's been underwater 9 times. It's in a floodplain. Obviously, people know that. We need to build a new facility somewhere, and in the perfect world, we'll be able to do it without any service interruption. Can do it while it's still open. That's the game plan. We're moving forward with it. It's a challenge. The TIF district's our funding mechanism, so we got to get some stores open at Park Place and other places. But once we get that done, we hope to be able to get that project up and going.
All right, a couple more texts for you. You're a popular guy today.
I hear you.
3 things I'd love to see at Park Place: IKEA, Malibu Jacks, and a Buc-ee's. Well, I can tell you one of those is not going to happen. That's the Buc-ee's. So that one's off.
That one's off. That'd take up the whole site from what I understand.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But what about the other 2? I mean,
I haven't heard those 2 yet, but I appreciate those ideas. I mean, I get a bunch of things sent to me, and although a lot of it will be up to the developer, we did keep what I call veto power over some things, so we'll be able to control some of the things that go in there, because I didn't want us to just be able to reach out and grab an easy lease. I wanted to try to bring things we don't have in West Virginia. And we're being a little bit successful there. It's been a little harder than I thought, but when you throw in a Mission Barbecue, for example, and even hopefully Menards will get started sometime soon. I still don't have a date for that, but I've talked to them several times. It's still on their schedule to do. So, those 2 check that box, and we have some other ones coming that'll check that box as well. So, that's what we're trying to do. There'll be some duplicates. Chick-fil-A and Starbucks are there, but you can't go wrong with those 2, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm excited about it. And I think people will start seeing some real activity down there this summer and fall.
All right. Question for the mayor. What's the deal with the dairy bar?
I don't know. I mean, it's the owner. We had a small restaurant in there for a little while. Right now, it's vacant. I haven't heard of anything else coming back in. Look, we need a place in South Charleston for people to come and get ice cream, right? We don't. I hear that sometimes from folks. Look, we don't have. Where do you go to just get an ice cream cone in South Charleston? And we don't really have a place. So hopefully we'll be able to get something like that back in that area, because I think that was popular when the dairy bar was popular for people.
Well, I think sometimes what happens, and this is not exclusive to South Charleston, this happens in every town across America, is a lot of times people say, well, we need this and we need that, and the government needs to do this, and the city. I mean, you guys have got your role in city government or county government or whatever. You've got your role in that, but that's up to individuals.
That is up to individuals. I say that all. Look, our role, I think, is to make South Charleston an attractive place to come and do business, whether it be helping do some site development or whether it be through infrastructure or tax structure or whatever it may be. We want to have a business-friendly environment. That's been one of my main goals since I took office, and I think we've accomplished that. And so, but then after we do that, after we have that in place, it's up to the private sector to come in and create the jobs and bring in the new business. We just have to give them a playing field that they want to come and play on, and that's what we've been doing in South Charleston, and it's been successful. Because look, you can do it for a little while. It's got to have staying power. If it doesn't have staying power, you're not going to have a lot of success. So you got to have staying power. And we're at that point now where people trust us. They know we have a business friendly environment, and they know it's here to stay.
All right. South Charleston Mayor Frank Mullens, and the bottom line is just be patient with the roundabouts.
Be patient with the roundabout. Yes, sir.
Right. Great to have you. You got your Summerfest will be coming up here.
Summerfest coming up in third week of August, right?
All right. We'll have you back on, or Sean, your guy in here.
Either one will be fine.
Because it's always a big time there at the Mound in South Charleston.
Hope to see you there.
All right. Mayor, appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate
Thanks a lot.
it.
922. Hang out with me 1 second here. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds are off tonight. They'll start a road series against High Point tomorrow night. Back at Gomart Ballpark this Friday night. Tickets, promotions, schedules, merchandise, and more. Visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Former Charleston Mayor Danny Jones will join us a little bit later on, and Stephen Allen Adams on the way next on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
We know summer's not over yet, and school is probably the last thing on your mind. But don't get caught off guard with back-to-school shopping when the time sneaks up on you. Right now, at Members Choice West Virginia Federal Credit Union, you can get a back-to-school loan to cover everything on this year's list. Get all those must-haves with up to $1,500 and rates as low as 7.99% with up to 12 months to pay back. So apply today at memberschoicewv.com. Loans are subject to credit approval. Additional restrictions may apply.
When I set out to build our firm, it was built for greatness. It was built for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
Adventure awaits on two wheels. Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports in Charleston is your Royal Enfield headquarters. From the classic Hunter to the rugged Himalayan, these bikes are built for the bold. Whether you're chasing open roads or carving your own path, Royal Enfield delivers timeless style and true adventure. Come test ride yours today and feel the freedom. Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports, where adventure begins. Visit TrojanLanding.com and ride into something epic.
The latest in news, talk, and sports when 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Call 304-344-9140 for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
It is 9:24. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. And senior producer Ryan Nicholson took a call there from somebody saying that they want to have a Popeyes in South Charleston. So I would second that. I'm always about pushing the local places over chains, but Popeyes, yeah, I like me some Popeyes. But Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, oddly enough, is brought to you by, you can't make this up, Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Madison. It's a podcast promoting healthier lifestyles in the state. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, under the podcast menu. Text about the Summerfest. Somebody said who is performing at Summerfest. I just happen to have this information here. On Wednesday night, August the 13th, it's Straight On, which is a tribute to Heart, followed by the Exiles. Thursday the 14th, the Legacy Motown Review and the Detonators. On Friday, August 15th, Josh Pantry will play at 6. And then, I'll be all about this one, the tribute to Leonard Skinner called Turn It Up. That's that late Friday night. And then on Saturday, Non-Friction, great local group. And Rick Kay's Road Trip will be playing that night. So, again, we'll talk about it as we get a little bit closer. But, again, that's who's playing to the texter that asked. Straight On, the tribute to Heart and the Exiles on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, it's the Detonators, followed by the Legacy Motown Review. Friday, August 15th, Josh Pantry. And then the tribute to Skinner, Turned It Up. And then on Saturday, August 16th, Non-Friction, followed by Rick Kay's Road Trip. Danny Jones coming up a little bit later on. Stephen Allen Adams is here. How you doing, man?
Doing really good. And I got to tell you, man, like, I haven't driven on the new roundabout in South Charleston, but I like roundabouts. I don't think they're too complicated, but I've seen some crazy things on a roundabout. I watched one time in Harlan, Kentucky, a semi-truck, instead of trying to make the round, just drive right straight through the middle as if it was a...
So he did the about instead of the round, I guess.
Yeah. So I've seen some crazy stuff from drivers on the roundabout.
I mean, there's all kinds of videos out there, the TikTok thing and whatever, in which I don't tick nor do I talk.
Same.
But Tracy out front, after she got her work completed, by the way, management, after she got her work completed, was showing us some videos out there, various roundabouts, and giving them names. I mean, she wasn't, but other people, apparently they've given them names. So this weekend, the state Republican Party is going to gather in Morgantown. They're going to choose a new leader this after the resignation of Matt Herridge. Wes Perry, Dr. Michael George, and Delegate Josh Holstein, sorry about that, Josh, are the names in the mix that I'm aware of. And immediately after Matt Herridge announced his resignation a week ago, of course, he's a member of the Morrissey administration, Senator Justice immediately endorsed Delegate Holstein. And I'm told there's a lot of support for him. And, of course, the others have their supporters as well. What are you hearing?
Boy, it's kind of radio silence on my end on this. I'm going to drive up there for the meeting on Saturday and cover that. I've pretty much covered every new chair election since Mark Harris replaced Melody Potter back in 2021. Yeah, it was right after the 2020 presidential election. And what I'm trying to figure out are factions. Now, as you said, former governor, U.S. Senator Jim Justice is aligned behind Delegate Josh Holstein. And that is sort of what I'm hearing, too, I reached out to a couple committee members that I know personally that sort of said that seems to be the popular choice. But there is, as you have, I'm sure, kind of noticed, even though it's not been by name, there's sort of back and forth between the former Justice administration and the current administration of Governor Patrick Morrissey. And Morrissey does like to kind of involve himself in those type of intra-party squabbles. So the question is, who's his person? I don't know if any of the two other names that you mentioned, who I don't really know anything about other than what I've read in the Metro News story. Mm-hmm. I don't know if those are Morrissey-backed people or not, or if there's somebody else that's floating out there. But I think that's going to be the question, is what faction is going to be in control of managing the state party going into the next midterm election, which will be important.
Sure, yeah.
And certainly
and all three, because I had the three I mentioned on the show last week on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in a row. And I interviewed all of them, and I pretty much asked them all the same questions. And one of them, the questions I asked was about candidate recruitment, because when you are the party in power, as the Democrats were for 83 years, everybody wants to run. Anybody that's got an opinion, and that's great. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you got to have people to kind of say, okay, well, this person, maybe you'd be better off here, and maybe this person you'd be better off here. And that's one of the roles of a party chair. People kind of forget that it's working with the county executive committees on candidate recruitment.
I mean, traditionally, your state party had a big role in candidate recruitment and saying, you run, you wait, to the next cycle. Right. A lot of that got broken down by campaign finance reform, Citizens United. You can donate direct to PACs now and kind of bypass your state party. Actually, I think there's a Supreme Court ruling or case going through now that might actually put more power in state party hands. They had way more of a role. Many will point to the fact that the erosion of state parties and even the national party is why we've gotten fringe candidates on both sides, on the Republican side and the Democratic side. So you want to have a strong party, because a strong party is going to be strong on issues like candidate recruitment and finding quality candidates. So that's an important role of a party that kind of got lost. It may be coming back.
Yeah. Talking again with Stephen Allen Adams of Ogden Newspapers. And I have been told that there seems to be a disconnect. Now, if I'm wrong about this, I will apologize. But I've been told by several people that there seems to be a bit of a disconnect from the Morrissey administration with the delegation in Washington, whether it's Justice Capito or Miller or Riley Moore. Now, again, you hear a lot of stuff, but have you heard things like that?
Oh, for sure. Which is very interesting because, it's sort of known that Governor Morrissey does go to D.C. pretty frequently. So you would think the relationship would be better. I think we can safely say that the relationship probably between the Morrissey administration and the Justice U.S. Senate office probably is not the greatest. As for everybody else, I think it just kind of varies. But of course, Moore Capito, Senator Capito's son, was someone that ran against Morrissey in the Republican primary for governor, came in second, and lost, but took some counties away from Morrissey, particularly in southern West Virginia, by the way. So there's a little bit of probably some friction there, I would presume, going forward. And also keep in mind, Moore Capito's a young man. He could run for office again. We know he's up for a nomination for U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia. So I do think that there is some kind of they work together and they talk, but I do think there's some suspicion going forward, which probably colors all those relationships.
Talking to Stephen Allen Adams of Ogden Newspapers, and again, you can have in the world of politics, you can have your, as you said, your factions, or this person's going to support that person and whatever, and still work together.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of forget that sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that does ultimately happen. But I've said this on this show, and I've said this on other shows before. Nature abhors a vacuum, and right now we don't have a very competitive state Democratic Party at all, and no disrespect to Delegate Mike Pushkin, the chairman of the Democratic Party. I know he's doing the best that he can, and some of that may reverse over the next few years, over the next few decades. We'll see. But because they don't have a very competitive, opposing party, the factions you're now seeing are within the Republican Party itself, between those that would be probably considered conservative a few years ago, but are now considered moderates. Those that are probably further to the right. So light conservative, light red conservative, dark red conservative, and you're seeing those factions constantly now, but it took a few years for that to come out.
Going back to the state convention for the Republicans this weekend in Morgantown, are you hearing what I'm hearing, that there could possibly be a move by some to open the primaries back up?
Yes. I think someone will offer that motion. How far that will get, I don't know. I'm trying to remember the vote off the top of my head because I covered that meeting when they did it. It was relatively close. So it could go back the other direction. And I kind of figured, even, a year and a half ago when they made that decision, I sort of figured they'd revisit that the closer you get to 2026 because, where are these voters are going to go? They assume that they're going to flip, their registrations over to R and vote in that primary. Maybe. Or they might not vote at all in the primary at all, and then they might be inclined to vote for a different party, or not vote at all because, feel disenfranchised in the general election. So, and keep in mind, Democrats haven't closed their primary to independent voters. So, do you really want to do that? I think you're going to see some rethinking of that decision the closer we get to next Saturday.
Stephen Allen Adams is here, and I have been told by some of my friends that represent southern West Virginia, I think Logan, Mingo, those areas, that, matter of fact, one elected official told me that that he or she was against the move from day one, and they're a registered Republican, they said, because it's going to hurt you in southern West Virginia.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That was the argument that was made during the winter meeting where they made this decision as well. Now, a lot of those people did flip over to Republican. That's what's driven the numbers, which keep going up for Republicans in voter registration. They keep increasing. Democrat registration keeps decreasing. So it's happening, but it's happening pretty slow because, as you know, from southern West Virginia, my wife's from southern West Virginia, I've talked to a lot of people down there who have made the switch from Democrat to independent because while they align with President Trump or with Republican political philosophy right now, they remember what their grandparents told them. Right. Like, I'll roll over my grave if you switch over to a Republican. So it's safer for them to just do it as an independent. Maybe they'll get to a Republican one day, but they're not there yet. And there's a lot of people in southern West Virginia that feel that way.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you in part by Fresh Air Filters of Taze Valley. Fresh Air, your trusted filter experts for both your home or business. 304-440-1104 or visit freshairfilters.us because everyone deserves fresh air. Text says they will try to make a motion to open the primary. It will fail, guaranteed.
Yeah, I think it's probably likely that they will stay the course. But there will certainly be an attempt, and we'll see if it's still narrow or maybe if the vote margin has widened. But I do think that there are some that still think that's a huge mistake, and they'll certainly at least try to put that option on the table.
What are you working on today, Stephen?
Well, today, looking at some campaign finance numbers for U.S. Senate, particularly in U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito's primary. There's some numbers up for that now. You got Tom Willis, the state senator out of Berkeley County. He doesn't have any donations yet, but he does have a self loan out there, pretty substantial one. So I'm going to look into that. But otherwise, I think we're waiting for the possibility of a state Supreme Court justice to be announced this week. We're waiting on a disaster declaration from Ohio and Marion counties. I think that's going to come at the beginning of this week.
I think Senator Capito said that she was expecting it by midweek, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, that's right. So there's all sorts of things that could happen this week and make it pretty interesting.
All right, Stephen, remind people where they can read your stuff.
Parkersburg News and Sentinel, Wheeling Intelligencer, Weirton Daily Times, the Intermountain and Elkins, the Journal in Martinsburg, and the Dominion Post in Morgantown.
And if you want to know anything politics, West Virginia, follow this guy on X. You'll be glad you did. Stephen, appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot. 23 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Danny Jones up next on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
My name's Chris Miller. I'm president of Dutch Miller Automotive. Jarrett Construction completely renovated and helped redesign Dutch Miller Kia in South Charleston. The fit and the finish and the quality of the project is exceptional. He has an attention to detail and an eye for that kind of stuff. You always want to give your best to your customer. It's just as important to him as it is to you. If you're ever looking to build anything, I'd call Jarrett Construction because you know exactly you're going to get something excellent every single time.
Call on Jarrett Construction.
Summer savings are happening right now at Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hurricane, and you can't afford to miss this. Now, you know that Gene and Ryan have built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals. But those deals are getting better this summer. That's because right now Walker has employee pricing going on all month long. Yeah, that's right. You pay what we pay. Check this out. New 2025 Ram Crew Caps with up to $12,500 off MSRP. You'll also find new Ram 2500 Crew Cabs priced with up to $10,000 off MSRP. And if an SUV for a family vacation is what you're after this summer, look no further than the Jeep Grand Cherokee. That's the one with third row seating, and you'll find it right now Walker priced with up to $8,000 off MSRP. Don't wait, because these deals and this inventory aren't going to last long. Take that short 20-minute drive from Charleston or Huntington to Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Just off the Hurricane exit of I-64. Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, making friends one deal at a time.
Welcome back to the show. 21 minutes away from 10. Texas. Wish someone would approach Boscov's department store for Park Place in South Charleston. Really a great move for the Clarksburg Bridgeport area. Would be a great move for this area too. Text says, Dave, you ever notice Trump always denies he knows people that he's sexually assaulted or pedophiles he's been friends with or criminals that have been convicted of crimes, but the truth always comes out. He knew all those people, so how can anyone believe him? He's a habitual liar, proven fact. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Poor indoor air quality can cause a variety of health issues, allergies, respiratory problems, and more. Pinnacle offers specialized indoor air quality services for residential, commercial, and industrial type settings. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Danny Jones is here. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
You and Frank Mullens playing a little catch up out there. He wanted to make sure he saw you.
He is knocking it out of the park down there.
Yeah, knocking it out of the Park Place.
I was so concerned when that happened, and I said right here on this radio, I said, Frank's making a bet on retail, and I'm for him, but I take the other side, and he is just killing them.
South Charleston's a pretty good place to be right now.
It's exciting. It's real exciting.
I just wish, and look, this is me just being a little bit overly critical, I guess. I just wish that people, anytime, for any town, people always say, well, this town needs this, and it's always a chain. I just wish people would get as excited about local businesses. You are a local restaurateur, for many, many years in several different places. I know we all want what we want, and we want the national chains, but man, I want people to get excited about local stuff too.
Well, McDonald's wanted to go in there. He said, no, there's not going to be a McDonald's. We already have a McDonald's. Mm-hmm. We don't need 14 McDonald's.
Yeah. I mean, I like McDonald's as much as the next person. Just don't tell Millie Snyder that. But I wish people would get as excited about the local stuff. On the all the weekend news shows, you watch them, I watch them. Danny, I watched most of them yesterday. Seems like all the talk is on the Epstein files.
That's the turning point.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never said that before.
Mm-hmm.
And I, despite the fact I didn't vote for him, I left the Republican Party over him. I think that's a turning point.
Turning point meaning what? Explain.
I think he's on his way out, and I'll tell you how it'll happen.
Out of office or just out of power?
Out of office.
You're going down the air now saying that you think Donald Trump's on his way out of office.
It's not going to be tomorrow or even next year. I think by my youngest son's birthday, February 28th, 2027, I think he'll be gone.
By 27, not 26.
That's correct.
Okay. And what's going to lead to that, in your opinion?
Well, it started with this. Mm-hmm. And him turning on his own supporters. And I can't believe he still got 40%.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, when Nixon, people didn't think that poorly about Nixon. He had 25%. Senator Byrd wanted the trial to go on. He said, we need to be concerned about these 25% that think he didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because that amount of people that think he doesn't do anything wrong leads to what we're in this country today.
I think it's interesting that some of the names that are out there, you said some of his supporters, people have been so totally obsessed with this. Even people that don't follow politics
Mm-hmm.
have been so totally obsessed with this thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene was one that wants it fully investigated. Mike Johnson was another one. Yeah, I know Marjorie Taylor Greene's a nut job.
Everybody's thinking about themselves.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. They had a congressman from Louisiana, and I can't think his name, yesterday. I wish everybody could have seen him. Mm-hmm. He's got it right. He's a Southern boy. And, also, I was waiting for Donna Brazil to say something kind about him.
Oh, you're talking – okay, now wait a minute. I think my shows might be getting mixed up here. You're talking about I think he was from Tennessee.
Okay.
That was on This Week.
Yeah.
He was from Tennessee. I can't think of his name, but yeah, he was from Tennessee.
Well, he's a good man. I'd urge people to go watch it. Can I get something in?
Oh.
My sister fell down the steps and in her home, and she's paralyzed from the neck down. And I just want to see if people would pray for her.
Okay. I'm sorry, Danny. I didn't. Was this something that happened recently or?
Oh, 3 days ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know.
And I asked her, she doesn't understand why I like all this publicity, but I said, could I please say that? And she said, okay. But
I mean, is the paralysis permanent?
No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, she's able to wiggle her toes and her fingers.
Okay.
Which, if you're in that situation, that's a heck of a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
And what made that work was she is athletic. I had my pool. I was a swimmer. The day I got diagnosed with cancer, I swam 2 miles, and I never swam that much after that.
Mm-hmm.
And plus she exercises. She goes to one of the exercises places. So, but I just wanted.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, and so those of you that are the praying type, if you'd say a prayer for Dan, what's her name?
Laura Patterson.
Prayer for Laura Patterson, Danny's sister. Appreciate you sharing that here. And our thoughts and prayers are with you and with her.
Now about that book.
Okay. All right.
We're moving quickly. And
in case you missed the show last week, we spent the majority of the time talking about Danny Jones's book. Does that have a title yet? Or do you want to say yet?
Call Me Danny.
Call Me Danny.
My mother would never call me Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a part of the competitiveness of our relationship. But it's your fault that it's going to come out.
It's my fault.
That fairly soon.
Okay.
It's actually, I'm very grateful. Because you said, well, are we going to get any recipes? And I said, that'll be in the next book.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I said, Charlie, you're 85. I'll be
Charlie Ryan. We're talking about Charles Ryan.
I said, you're 85 and I'm going to be 75. we need to live to enjoy this. And he's really knocking it out of the park. And we're doing it together, which is a labor of love for me. But also, that's what he does.
Yeah, sure.
And
I read his book. I read, the one that he did, like his autobiography, and I think I finished it in like a day, because I couldn't put it down.
Did you read The Murder on Stanton Road?
I read parts of it. I did not read the entire thing.
I read where I was,
It's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
But I said, you wrote 2 books about one house. I said, we can write 2 books about one person. We'll just do volume 1 and volume 2.
I love it.
What do you think?
I love it.
And I got the idea from this show. It wasn't your fault. I'm grateful because I think Charlie thinks we can get out by October, but I think it'll be Christmas.
Well, be a great Christmas gift, and of course it'll be available in the online, I'm sure, and hopefully can get in some of the local, the local places as well.
It's very hard to just skim a book.
Mm-hmm.
And my eyesight is not what it used to be, so I'd rather listen to books. And I'll just recommend one. Listen to Jake Tapper's book, Original Sin. Don't be lost in his philosophical leanings as opposed to yours. It's a great book.
That's what I've heard. I've read excerpts of it too, but I haven't read the entire thing. We're talking to Danny Jones. So the book is going to be called Call Me Danny. Yeah. It's not going to be called I Used to Be Famous, because that's your favorite line. You're still famous, Danny.
I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. Charleston, West Virginia, my DNA is in the streets.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people left here. I get angry about it.
Well, people, and when we have this discussion about the regatta, and I get texts to the show all the time where people say they need to, do one of two things. They need to bring the regatta back like it was. Okay, that's not going to happen. You know that. And they need to move the dates. Well, because school starts now like, August 5th or something ridiculous like that. That's not going to happen. But the regatta is never going to be the 10-day or whatever it was festival years ago. And I wish more people would realize that, because the money's not here and the population's not here.
I changed it, saved it, and canceled it. I changed it. I saved it on 2000 with the help of some other radio stations, and Dickie Barber and Budweiser. And 2007, we couldn't get anybody. We didn't have any American Rescue Plan or anything, so we couldn't get any sponsors, not one. So we had to cancel it because I'd already started the festival. I said, well, you just replace it. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the money. And Charleston, we were slowly losing our base. We lost the mall between 13 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go down there and spend the night at the all night of going to that Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was packed on the 13th, and there was almost nobody on the 14th.
Yeah. Talking to Danny Jones, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Bridge Valley, offering custom-tailored trainings to supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu. We'll take a break. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
To you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Earn more with 4 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Poca Valley Bank locations today. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
It's time to transform your home with the perfect blend of style and function. From cozy carpet, stunning hardwoods, to custom, handcrafted cabinets, Nitro Carpet and Design Center has it all. Whether it's a kitchen revamp or a bathroom facelift, our expert design team will guide you every step of the way. Financing available. Visit us right off the interstate at New Goff Mountain Road in Cross Lanes. Nitro Carpet and Design Center, where your dream home becomes reality. Explore more at nitrocarpet.com.
I pick up litter at the neighborhood park.
I volunteer at my local food bank.
I help build homes in my community.
No matter where you are in West Virginia, there's always a chance to be kind. That's because every mountaineer is a volunteer. Help us make a difference during the National Day of Service on September 11th. Visit volunteer.wv.gov to find an opportunity near you. Brought to you by Volunteer West Virginia, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Foundation issues? Wet basement? Drainage problems? Contact Foster Foundation Repair. Locally owned and operated by a licensed professional engineer, Foster Foundation Repair provides rock-solid service with certified results. Contact us today for a free evaluation. Foster Foundation Repair. Rock-solid service. Certified results. FosterFoundationRepair.com. West Virginia Contractor License WV061105.
With Marathon Rewards, you can save up to $1 a gallon, and you'll earn every time you refuel. So when you stop in to fill up your tank, you're also banking rewards at the same time. It's a little move we like to call the Tank and Bank. And to be frank, joining Marathon Rewards couldn't be more straightforward. I guess now that makes it a frank Tank and Bank situation. Sign up online, from our app, and even at the pump. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to the show. It's 8 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Huston's Pizza. This month, buy any regularly priced large 18-inch pizza. Get a 2-liter of Pepsi at no additional charge. Find your nearest Huston's at HustonsPizza.com. Former Charleston Mayor Danny Jones is here, and I understand we have a phone call. So we don't have a phone call. Oh, we just wanted some information for Danny. Okay, I'm sorry, Ryan. I misheard you. Okay. All right. So we had somebody wanted to give you some information and off the air. So we'll get that for you later. Okay.
And that somebody was Bob
Brunner.
Bob the Truth Brunner.
I had Bob on the show before a couple times.
You know, when Don was here, they had a lot more listeners, except for one.
Hey. What's that supposed to be?
Here. I was down the dial.
Okay. Oh, I thought you meant than we do now. Okay.
No.
I'm just kidding with you. Go ahead.
No, but Don, you know, mix in sports and stuff. But
Don Cook, we're talking about.
But yeah, and he and
Brunner,
you know, Gaston was supposed to come to my place, but Bob the Truth Brunner wouldn't let him come up, so I started calling him Bob the Truth Brunner, and people would call Don Cook up and say, Don, he gets furious, because I think in radio they call that a guerrilla tactic.
Yeah, you're fighting for gas sometimes. So I keep going back to the book again. You said it's going to have a lot of pictures. And
I'm spending the money. Okay. I'm going to spend the money for color and hardback. And Charlie and I, you know, we're partners on this, and I'm funding it. And I think we'll end up making a little money.
Mm-hmm.
But I want it to be a first-class operation.
Right.
And it's supposed to go for $34.95. I don't want to charge that much. And you know what? I thought you only made like a couple dollars a book. You make almost half.
Are you going to do an audio version of the book too?
I'd like to.
Maybe have you narrating it?
No, not me narrating. I'd like to narrate the parts that I wrote and have somebody else do it.
Okay. All right.
And so, you know, it's just a very exciting prospect. Oh God, somebody just walked in.
Oh, it's just TJ. He's back from vacation. He's fine.
Does he work here?
Well, he's employed here. I don't know how much work he actually does, but no, he's back. He's dragging sand in here off of a golf course somewhere. We'll talk to him in a minute. I want to get your opinion on something. Going back to national politics for a moment. I saw last night where the president, or sometime yesterday on Truth Social, his social media platform, his new cause now is that he wants the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins and the team formerly known as the Cleveland Indians to change their names back. The Indians, of course, the Guardians now after the Guardian Bridge in Cleveland, and the Washington Tony Peranzino's Redskins are now the Commanders. And this is what our president seems to be occupied with now.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Washington.
Okay.
When they were building the apartment building I'm in, all the guys doing drywall, I thought they were Cajun. They sounded just like it. I said, are you all from Louisiana? He said, we're in North Carolina. North Carolina? Yeah, we're American Indian. And they were delightful. And they had 2 leaders, and they were in the place. I said, well, they're going to change the name of the Redskins. And he said, well, it's been that way for a long time, isn't it? He said, yeah. I said, is that okay with you? Oh, yeah, it's fine. He didn't care, but a lot of people do care. The problem is it's just a continuation of Donald Trump wasting political capital to gaslight.
Diversionary tactics?
Yeah, and same way with all these names. We've gotten through it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to name it back? Fine. I said Redskins for, I was watching the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And, when Reagan was playing, I think that's what his name was. It was a great team.
All right, let me read a text here. Wow, says a texter. The revelation of Obama and his Marxist minions being behind the Russiagate lie not being mentioned is despicable. The story makes it crystal clear why Barry bought himself an $8 million home in D.C. after his term ended. Who stays in D.C. after they leave office? It's time for treason trials.
That is the most ridiculous accusation, and it's typical of this administration to make and he can't defend himself. You know who needs to defend him? One of 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you the first one.
Okay.
George W. Bush.
Okay.
And the second one's Mike Pence. Not a bunch of people, those 2. Republicans and George Bush, despite that war, is still well thought of. He's a very decent, religious human being. It's totally untrue.
Have you seen the latest approval ratings, Danny, for Democrats nationwide? I mean, I know we're in West Virginia, but somewhere on the nationwide level, the Democratic approval ratings like somewhere near the stomach flu. I mean, at this point, it's not good. You're head of I'm going to make you head of the Democratic, the DNC. You're head of the National Committee. How do you fix it?
You can't. I would say if you want to win elections, follow Josh Shapiro and the governor of Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republican governor of Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I am a mainstream guy, completely mainstream, capable of making mistakes. I did that. What we just heard isn't a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to appeal to the middle, but you don't do it, and it's all anger on both sides. And guess who the leading? There's that election a year away.
Older adults should protect themselves against severe respiratory disease. Talk to your doctor about flu, COVID-19, and RSV vaccines. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Danny, don't leave. We got about a minute or so left. TJ Meadows is here, back from vacation with Talkline. I want to get your take on what Danny Jones just said, TJ, that he thinks that by February 2027, Donald Trump will not be in office.
Possible, very possible. I'd have to think more about the date, but let me tell you this: Danny is absolutely right about what Tulsi Gabbard did on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
That was outright responsible, and at best, there is no at best. She flat out lied, conflating the facts. No one ever said that Russia hacked the voting systems and the tallies. It's hacking in the terms of social hacking, creating disinformation campaigns on Facebook, conflating the two and try to sell it to take us and our eye off the ball with Epstein.
What he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Promo material right there, Ryan. All right, TJ, real quick, what you got coming up on the show today?
Charlie Bird, West Virginia Oil and Gas Association, joins us. Mark Lambert, State Fire Training Director at WVU. Jack Loger on that late night thing. Colbert's losing his job. We'll talk about that. Brad Howe on the TBT. Ben Queen, Harrison County Senator, Economic Development. A lot of different things we'll talk about with Ben.
Welcome back from vacation,
Good
Danny.
to be here.
Always a pleasure. We'll talk again next week, buddy. Keep working on that book, all right?
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you later today on Metro News Midday. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM, W243DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.